Hey guys, earlier today I finally went and saw Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters, obviously, the female version of Ghostbusters, whatever you want to call it. I know a lot of people have been waiting all pretty much for a while, especially today, uh, about my opinions on this movie, because I saw this like probably at noon this morning, 12:30. It was like 12:30 p.m. when I saw it. It's like about 11:30 right now. I had a lot of stuff to do today after I got out of the movie, so this is why it's taking me forever to do it. Um, so let's get right into this because I definitely have a feeling this is going to be a long review. So, what the fuck do I say about this new Ghostbusters and the controversy that has been surrounding it? I almost don't even want to talk about it because that's all everybody's fucking talking about. It's kind of getting annoying. There's not much to say about it that hasn't been said already. Um, as everybody, like just like everybody, I love the original Ghostbusters. I love it to death. It's one of my favorite movies, comedies of all time. It has a special place in my heart. I love everybody involved in that film. I even don't mind the second one, even though I've seen the second one only a few times. Maybe if I watch it again, maybe I might have a different opinion, but I don't know. I love the original. It's a classic. And this movie's origins has been just chaotic from the beginning. Like, this originally was supposed to be Ghostbusters 3 with all the original cast, and everybody got too old to do it, and Bill Murray wouldn't do it. So then they decided, okay, we're gonna have the old Ghostbusters train the new Ghostbusters, and then Bill Murray still wouldn't do it, and then Harold Ramis died, and then they're like, okay, we're just gonna completely redo it with Paul Feig as a director and a female Ghostbusters. To which I was like, okay, Paul Feig. Yeah, he just came off of doing Bridesmaids in the Heat. I'm like, all right. And they're like, Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy are gonna be in it. I'm like, oh, fuck off. Like, I was at that point, around that time when they announced that, I was so annoyed of those two. I was sick of it. So I was like, whatever. And then, uh, and then when they announced that, uh, and then when I saw Spy, if you saw my review for Spy last year, I said I'm kind of more optimistic because of that movie. And this movie has gotten a lot of hate, including from me, when it comes to like the trailers. It isn't because it's a female Ghostbusters. I thought the advertising for this movie was terrible, like everybody. Um, I know there are a lot of people who are just pissed because it's female Ghostbusters. They're a bunch of sexist assholes that shouldn't even be on this fucking earth. I don't even want to fucking talk to them. That's not my problem with the movie, or like the advertising for the movie. I was optimistic. I was hopefully optimistic going in, but also I was aware that there was a lot of differing opinions, and no matter what your opinion was, either was a good opinion or a bad opinion, this people were bashing you no matter what. So I was like, man, this is gonna be interesting. So what do I think of the new Ghostbusters? I know I've been spending 4 minutes talking about the lead up to this movie. Um, I know I'm probably gonna get some shit, no matter what I say, but in my opinion, this movie was just okay. It was okay, alright? There were a lot of things I did like about it, but there was a lot of things I didn't like about it. Um, that I think some people are giving way too much of a pass, especially critics, unless you're Richard Roper. Um, which Richard Roper, by God, that poor guy's getting like hate mail because of a review. Anyways, I thought it was okay. I even told my uncle, I said, if there's a definition for what is just an okay movie, this is it. Even maybe mediocre, which I don't know if I want to say it is because like maybe I will over time, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, I'll go over what I did like. I liked that this movie, first and foremost, you can tell, was made by people who love the original film. There's no doubt about it. It shows from like almost every frame, from the heart, the feel, everything about it. Even the two leads that I thought were going to be terrible in this movie, Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, felt like characters that would fit in this Ghostbusters universe from the original films. They were kind of like female versions of Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, in that they're really smart, tech savvy, science savvy kind of people that, just use a lot of science babble, but also they played it straight. They didn't play their stereotypical one joke characters that we see them play all the damn time. And that was nice for me, honestly. Even though Kristen Wiig was playing the socially awkward kind of character she usually does, she did fine. She wasn't over the top for me. And Melissa McCarthy wasn't over the top for me either, trying to be a female Chris Farley. Chris Hemsworth, I thought, was fine. If this was a different actor, he would have been annoying. But because this is Chris Hemsworth and he's charismatic as hell, he kind of is fun in this thing. As this dumb big oaf who's their secretary, who just fails at his job really horribly. He does a really horrible job. He has some funny lines here and there, and it's the cameos in this movie were okay. I've heard some people say that they were pretty forced. Yeah, some of them were, but some of them made me smile. Particularly Annie Potts, the secretary from the original, popping up. I won't say where she does, but she pops up, and that scene kind of made me smile. And Sigourney Weaver's cameo, which stay through the credits, you will see her cameo. Because if you're like me, you're like, where the fuck is Sigourney Weaver? I knew she was gonna make a cameo, and then she does at the end. It was nice. It made me smile. I like seeing Sigourney Weaver. As far as the rest of the main guys go, the surviving guys go, Bill Murray has the biggest cameo out of everybody. But this is kind of getting to kind of gripes here. I felt that Bill Murray could have been used a hell of a lot better. I know he's not playing Venkman. I get it. But you're telling me the guy who held up Ghostbusters 3 for almost freaking 30 years would not accept any of the scripts, but he accepted this? This? Really? He plays like a denier that ghosts exist. He doesn't believe that ghosts exist, and he has only two scenes in this movie, and he's not really being that much funny in it. And the only funny thing is what happens to his character. How his character is written off is kind of funny. That's about it. Dan Aykroyd is just there to just deliver the line, "I ain't afraid of no ghost." He plays a cab driver. And Ernie Hudson, man, is he getting old, is there just I won't say what, but it's kind of a little nice little cameo. I kind of knew what was coming. I knew he was coming when he popped in the movie. I liked kind of the in battle scene. I thought it was fine. I kind of liked the different uses of different guns that they had. I thought that was kind of cool, and also like the 3D was kind of good. Like they shot it, they put it like on widescreen, so like it felt like stuff was coming out at you, which was kind of nice. Like the projectile vomiting, and they see in the trailers of that ghost, like it's coming right at you. It kind of looks pretty cool. The proton packs, when they're shooting off the protons, it comes right at you. It kind of looks cool. I thought the ending battle sequence was fine. There was something I will complain about, but I'll get that in a second. But Yeah, that's as far as it goes with the things I will give compliments to. Now, where I don't like this movie is, now this is something I'm going to get shit for, because I know a lot of people are praising this, but a lot of the comedy in this movie is fucking painfully awful, especially towards the beginning. I was like, oh, good God, am I in for one long sit? I remember kind of going. It wasn't until like Bill Murray's character exits the movie where it kind of started to pick up, maybe just a little bit. But up to that point, I was like, man, is this gonna be a long sit for me? Oh God, this is getting pretty bad. Like it did. It was like it felt like it was starting to get really bad. And one of the biggest reasons is Kate McKinnon. Look, I hear she's a really funny comedian. I hear she is, and I hear she's really good. I'm sure she is. But by God, was she terrible in this movie. She was the worst part for me in this movie. She got better as the movie got along. I'll give her that. But her jokes, especially at the beginning of this movie, were so painfully forced and so unfunny that I just could not fucking stand her. Like, she was delivering poop jokes, fart jokes, queef jokes. Yes, queef jokes. Uh, she's basically a one joke character, and that's it. She's cuckoo and crazy, and she's funny because of that. And it's just not funny. Like, all the shit she was saying was not funny. Leslie Jones, even though I didn't talk about her, but Leslie Jones was better I thought than she was in this film. I mean, Leslie Jones is basically the loud black woman that you see in a lot of comedies like this, but she was fine for what she was in this. She gave me a few laughs more than fucking Kate McKinnon did. This was really my first introduction to Kate McKinnon, and man, oh man, I hope she does a lot better than this. I don't watch SNL, so don't say, oh yeah, she's on SNL. I've seen her Justin Bieber impression. Okay, I've seen that. That's alright. But, yeah, no. Also, there's a lot of terrible fan service in this movie. A lot. Between, what's the... Between really the end of this movie is the exact same as a remake of the end of the first movie. Really, it is. The last few minutes of the fight is because instead of the State Puft Marshmallow Man, which he does pop up in this movie as like a balloon ghost, it's the ghost from the logo of the Ghostbusters. And I swear to fucking God, it's so terrible looking. You've seen it in the trailers, and you've probably seen it in the trailers. It's terrible looking, and like, it doesn't look. I was like, what the fuck does that thing look to me like? And I fucking figured it out, like, pretty much right on the spot. I said, it looks instead like the Oogie Boogie Man from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I am not making that up. Seriously, watch that movie and tell me that does not look like the Oogie Boogie Man from The Nightmare Before Christmas. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. And basically, they're fighting him like they fighted the State Puft Marshmallow Man in the first one. And it's like almost exact same replica of that scene. Also, there's this really terrible scene where where they're in the subway and they're trying to this is like, it's been a few hours, so just give me a minute. They're in the subway and they're asking a guy who's down in the subway, like, who has seen a ghost, what does he look like? Draw him to me what it looks like. He's a graffiti artist, so he draws like on the wall with his graffiti, like the ghosts are like, no, you can't draw a ghost on there. And so he's like, oh, so you don't want no ghost? You want no ghost? So he starts make a circle motion, and then like it pans over, and there's and he leaves and he pans over and there's the logo to the Ghostbusters, and Kate McKinnon goes, "Well, I might be high, but that might be a really good logo." Fuck off. That's like coming to some of the fucking lines in this movie. Also, fuck. Okay, I get it, movie. And I get this, that you got a lot of shit for on the internet. I get it. And I'm not a guy probably giving you shit on the internet right now. But I get it. Like, I get that, in post production, they probably put like a few little jabs at the internet. Like, they're like, "Oh, look at these geeks on the internet saying that there should be a female Ghostbuster." That's fine. Like, the first time it happened, I was like, alright, that's kind of funny, like, ha ha ha. But it continues to go on, and I'm like, fuck you. Were your feelings hurt? Really? Were your feelings hurt about that? Oh, fuck you. Like, you're making millions of dollars. Go fuck yourself. Like, I was like, at first I was like, okay, like, I would have been, but then it kept going, and I'm like, oh. And then, that's my problem. I had no problem with them adding that, but it was just like, it kept going. And then, there's also the weird-ass product placement in this goddamn thing. Two great examples. One, when they order pizza, and I'd seen all the advertisements of Papa John's and their endorsement of Papa John's, and they order pizza, and there's this lingering shot of a box of Papa fucking John's. It lingers on that shot for fucking ever, because I see the goddamn guy who owns pizza or Papa John's face for like, I swear it went on for like 2 minutes. Also, there's that weird joke that I don't get what the hell. Like, maybe I don't remember this from the original. Maybe that's something I just don't remember. I don't remember it like from heart, like from line to line. Maybe this is something from the original. But they were going for logos of like Chris Hemsworth was giving them like all these different terrible logos he was giving them, and randomly he just shows them a logo of 7-Eleven. Why? Like, it's like, 711. I'm like, am I the only one that doesn't get this fucking joke? What is going on? like that was my reaction. I don't know, man. Also, if you want to stay, there is a scene at the end of the credits, and god damn it, this made me go, "Oh, fuck you, movie." And then, like, that was the wrong response you wanted me to leaving out of the theater, where they basically set up a sequel. And I'm just going to say this right now, if they're making a sequel, and if this does well, they're going to basically remake the original with the same villain as the original. Because they reference a villain at the end of the movie with a certain villain from the first one at the very end credits, and I'm like, oh, fuck off. Like, that's exactly my response. It's like, oh, fuck off. No. You basically just remade the climax of the original, so why remake it again? Yeah. That sounds like I'm bitching, really. But at the same time, this movie didn't piss me off. Like, I didn't walk out pissed off, really. I don't know, like, those things, like, I wasn't really, like, I was just like, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I just thought it was okay. And like I said, maybe mediocre. And I wouldn't really recommend this as seeing it in the theater. Maybe a matinee, cheap matinee, or cheap theater, whatever, if you're curious and want to see it. Or, other than that, a rental. Solid rental. It's not a waste of time to watch it on, like, if you want to go to a Redbox, you don't know what to fucking see, rent it. It's not that bad, but it's not that great either. I'm sure I'm gonna get shit for this. And again, I wanted to go into this movie thinking it was I really wanted to love this movie. I was hoping that, like, I was hoping I was going to love this movie more than I did. I really did. I didn't go in thinking this was going to be the worst piece of shit ever made. Went in very optimistically, and I was kind of it was better than the trailers made it out to be, but not not that much better to the point that it was a really great movie that was just as good as the original. That's the best way I can put it. As far as trailers go, I got a few weird trailers. I'm going on 20 minutes, so I'm gonna get the hell out of doing this. I knew this was gonna be a long review. New trailer for Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This is the book based off a young adult novel, I guess. It's being directed by Tim Burton. It looks like it's Eva Green, like running a school for these kids that have these weird abilities or something. I don't know. For peculiar children. Yeah. And they're being chased by, I think that's Samuel Jackson. I swear that might be. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. It looks like a Tim Burton movie. It doesn't look bad though, so we'll see. Bridget Jones' Baby. Like, again? This is another recurring theme of the year. Random fucking sequels to movies that were like 15 to 20 years old. I had to look back. Like, I was like, when was the last time there was a Bridget Jones movie? 2004. Like, who the hell asked for this? Was everybody was somebody really clamoring for a Bridget Jones sequel? I've only seen the second one. I didn't. Maybe I've seen the first one. I barely remember it, and I remember it being okay. And this time they just said "fuck you" to Hugh Grant, or he just said "I'm not doing it." And it's about Bridget Jones, Renee Zellweger is having a baby, and she can't figure out who's the dad. It's either Colin Firth or McDreamy, that guy, McDreamy. Why is it? I don't know. Anyways, the guy from Grey's Anatomy. So yeah, and yeah, it's whatever. It's not my cup of tea. So there you go. Florence Foster Jenkins. This was a weird trailer to get in front of Ghostbusters. This was a movie that's like, well, this is obviously Meryl Streep going for an Oscar, which apparently it looks pretty good. It's about, she's playing this famous opera singer who was really terrible at singing, and everybody knew it, but she became really world famous or something like that. It's really weird. It looked kind of good. Like, Meryl Streep looks like she's just probably gonna win another Oscar. It looks like she's giving a hell of a performance. That woman can act out of a fucking paper bag. I mean, she can read a phone book and make it like compelling. A phone book compelling. So yeah, that looks alright. And the last one I got was The Space Between Us. This is kind of an interesting concept that it's about a woman who goes on a space mission to Mars and gives birth and dies on childbirth because of the atmosphere on Mars. And the child lives, and he grows up on Mars, and then like starts having a video chat with a girl on Earth who and he decides to go back to Earth, but he's slowly dying on Earth because so he goes back to see this girl, and he's slowly dying on Earth because he can't stand the atmosphere. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of an interesting original concept. I don't know. It's got Asa Butterfield. Was that who? I think that was him playing it. So I'm like, all right. It looked original. It looked harmless. Again, another weird trailer to get in front of Ghostbusters, but whatever. Yeah. So that's as far as trailers go. I'll be back next week with Lights Out and Star Trek I almost said Star Trek into Darkness. Star Trek Beyond. So there you go. That's that. Maybe I'll get The Infiltrator. Maybe next week. Maybe if I do, we'll be seeing that. But until then, I'll talk to you guys later.